Hey, good evening. This is Dr. Eric. This is a video podcast, I believe number 218. And what we're doing is we're trying to keep people's spirits up. Okay. Hi, Kit. It was good talking to you the other day. You, tryptokinase, you received um, the tryptokinase that we give for people that have strokes to try to mitigate the efficacy. And they promised that you would never talk again, and you said, "I'm going to defy that." And because I have talked with you, and thank you very much for sharing. I want to share more of your story, and I got your most recent um, illustration that you have in the presynaptic and postsynaptic membrane. Um, what Kit is showing me and what I've shown you is the endocannabinoid system that is a neurotransmitter. It's a homeostatic neurotransmitter system that controls a lot of parts of our body function. I was reading about the NRF2 tonight, which is a antagonist that helps to perpetuate a number of activities, and we have to uh, get to know what they are. That's deep science, and we're not going to get into deep science tonight as much as the streptokinase that Kit received helped her recover from her stroke at a very young age. And this is some of the things we have to worry about with the coronavirus. They have talked about the number of neurological problems, the number of vascular injuries, such as strokes, that we're having with the COVID-19. So you don't want to get it if you don't. Please don't take it as a Cavalier situation, because we don't know the consequences. There are more than 8 million people in the United States now that have been affected, more than 222,000 deaths. So we don't want to do that. There are some studies now that are going on that I looked at today in Great Britain, where they call it a challenge project. And what they actually do is they give people vaccines, and then they get them infected to see if the vaccine works. There are some downsides to that, particularly if you have a complication, it doesn't work, and you get it, and you wind up in a precarious situation. We don't know what the long-term effects of this coronavirus is going to be on our neurological system, on our vascular system, on our immunological system. We don't know. And so we're going to have to wait and see. But thank you, Kit, and I want to get you on and find out how we basically get this more like Zoom. Zoom is a situation that you can interact. I can share my screen with you. I can compare certain statistics and what have you. But we're not there yet, at least from my standpoint. The video podcast that I'm doing is to try to memorialize our efforts to try to keep everybody stronger and smarter. Stronger because we believe that our credo really spells out something really important. Let's do it. Have you had your daily vitamin CBD today to help reduce the low-grade chronic inflammation to support your immune system? Okay, that's our credo. And why do we use it? We use it because we believe that that's fundamentally what it does. What the cannabinoids tend to do is to help to reduce the inflammatory component. The CBD and the CBG and the CBN, they're all great anti-inflammatory free radical eliminators. Now, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And the oxidative reduction reaction, when we make energy, we get a byproduct. And that byproduct, if we don't get rid of it, okay, we call it inflammation. In the Krebs cycle, we exceed the Krebs cycle when we get lactic acid. And lactic acid will cause us to cramp up pretty bad. And some young athletes that have exceeded their physiological limit at the beginning of the football season or basketball season or track season have felt these cramps that are indicative of the body trying to get rid of its byproduct, okay, which is deleterious and can bring in inflammatory cells. So we have an endocannabinoid system that's now recognized. I'm seeing more and more research on it every day. So we're way ahead where we were when we started this 218 days prior to this. Um, and that's where we have to be. How can we keep ourselves in the best of shape? How can we keep out of harm's way? And one of them, number one, I've talked to and lectured on this, is getting enough sleep. I'm doing a better job because I really try to turn in at 10 and get up at 5. So I make sure that I have 6.5 to 7 hours of rest. Because if you talk about dementia, let's talk a little bit about dementia. Dementia is a chronic low-grade inflammation. And if you don't get enough sleep, the brain works awfully hard during the day to make you think and make you say the right words and count the right numbers. And this all gets a byproduct. And that byproduct, those byproducts have to go away at the end of the day. And if you don't get enough sleep, you don't get to remove all the garbage, okay, from the byproducts of making energy. And if you don't get rid of all the garbage that makes the the byproduct that makes the energy, what you're going to do is call in the cytokines, and you're going to call in the all of the monocytes and the lymphocytes and all of these things that come with inflammation, and they can do a disservice, more of a disservice to you. So what we want to do is really want to concentrate on getting enough sleep. So I'm working on 7 hours because I've never worked on 7 hours before, but because I'm a little bit smarter today than I was yesterday, I have to try to do what I can do in order to make myself better. And that low-grade chronic inflammation is the killer. And we're finding it to be the etiological causes for a number of different diseases. But we're talking about dementia tonight. And dementia is a chronic low-grade inflammation. We also talk about the things that affect the brain, such as anxiety. The anxiety has tripled since the coronavirus has increased, has been with us for the last 9 months. And it also, we also talk about the aspect of trying to make sure that we get enough cannabinoids in our system to counter that those reactions that we get secondary to the oxidative reduction and the byproducts. So do we get enough antioxidants? We know that going back to 1999, these NIH scientists found that cannabidiol was a antioxidant, okay? And that antioxidant means that it can take care of the oxidative stress. It's not real. It's complicated because the language is complicated. It's easy once you get the language down. You know that it's really a simple situation. Reduce your low-grade chronic inflammation. Reduce your low-grade chronic inflammation and concentrate on helping to make the immune system run more efficiently by virtue of not having to fight that low-grade chronic inflammation in the brain or in the heart or in the muscles or what have you. And there are some other great byproducts, okay? Margaret, I need to talk with you tomorrow, so please give me a call because I got my new jars and I tested out my capacity to have 30 wild Maine blueberries, and they worked out pretty well. But you and I need to talk in the morning, okay? Dory, we need to talk every day because you have done some great things in simplifying, the life of vitamin CBD, and that's what we want to do. Have you had your daily vitamin CBD today to help reduce your low-grade chronic inflammation to support your immune system? That's our credo. That's what we want you to understand. That's what we want you to know. I will let you know that I'm doing a podcast, 1 hour podcast on the 17th of November. Please mark your calendar. Please tell your friends. We're going to talk about all the diseases that are interactive in our process of having these low-grade chronic inflammation that go from diabetes to hypertension to high blood pressure. And if we can reduce these chronic inflammation sites, then we can actually obviate and reverse some of these diseases. So we have been in cannabinoid deprivation for the course of the last 70 years because they took a major phytocannabinoid out of our farmland. So what you have to do is you have to understand that deprivation probably has had some side effects on our ability to fight all of the different things that have insulted and assaulted our immune system. Our immune system from 70, 50, or 20 years ago has had a number of new challenges, if you will. Can you think that you believe that we use the same herbicides today as we used yesterday? No way. Okay, and if that is interacted with the body, then it has to have a certain response. And if the body has never seen it before, then it has to get acclimated to it. And these are why they're called antibodies. Okay, and this is what, one of the monoclonal antibody therapies that people are hoping that we can give people antibodies to fight the virus before the virus takes over. But this is what the vaccine does. The vaccine is given a small amount of a substance that help to make antibodies that will fight the organism in question. And a lot of times we have to give a small amount. Your flu shot is a small amount of antibodies from usually 3 of the most recent flus. And they take it and they put it into a cocktail and they give it to you as a flu shot, because these viruses change so readily. Even the one that we have right now called COVID-19, it's changing on a daily basis. When it goes into the body, it goes through 100,000 replications by the time it comes out. So then it comes out and infects your neighbor or your grandma or somebody that you love. So wearing a mask is going to be critically important. Don't let anybody, tell you otherwise. Kit, you sent me the cutest thing. Please put that up on Facebook. It's a Disney song about wearing a mask. Okay, about taking a fine piece of fabric and making it an enemy and making it a political statement. It is nothing but public health. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to stay safe. Please go and call somebody that you haven't talked to in a couple weeks. Let them know you care about them, you love them. See if you can help them in any way, shape, or form. The biggest thing you can do is tell them to go to dailyvitamincbd.com and look at the 12, 13, soon to be 14 different SKUs that we have. And I do have some exciting news to tell you, but I can't tell you yet until I know that production is on the way. But I'm working every day at trying to continue to evolve. If you want to go and look at the top 5, the top 5 tinctures, we do everything. We have everything in vitamin CBD that the number 1 has. And then number 2 can't touch us. Number 3 can't touch us. Number 4 can't touch us. Number 5 can't touch us. Go look at the top 5 tinctures CBD, okay, for 2020. And I will tell you, and if you have a question, write me. I can counter every pro and don't have as many cons as you will see in the literature. So I welcome you to go and challenge vitamin CBD with anybody else on the market, especially the top 5. So please have a good night. Please go take your daily vitamin CBD, okay, and perpetuate it, share it, like it, and we'll see you tomorrow. God willing, God bless.